Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So this is our analysis for Saturday. Premium and Pro members, you've already seen most of this. I will go over it again though because this is going to just be released to free members on Saturday morning. This is going to come out to Premium and Pro members this evening, which is Friday, because there are a couple of others that we now do have prices for. So we will go over all those that we've also already talked about. Delighted to see that they've all been declared. And I think they're all shorter prices now than what they were. Starting off in the Novices Handicap Hurdle Final, Belliano. Yeah, I really like that form. I thought the second behind the New Lion, I think the New Lion is going to win the Turners and go on to be a very, very good horse and prove to be one of the top novices, or a championship horse of next season for sure. Then Belliano went to Ascot, beat Tommy the Tank. I was quite happy with that. Beat Tommy the Tank by a length and a bit. That horse has since come out and won by 13 lengths. Now, Tommy the Tank went off 18-1, and you could have instantly looked at that race and gone, well, he didn't beat anything. Well, actually he did. He beat a subsequent winner. So that was a good bit of form. He then went to Market Raising and beat Silver Thorn. I thought, again, he won it cosily. And we've got to remember the horse that fell, who went off 11-4. I'm a Lumberjack. That horse had previously had some really good form, including finishing 9th in a bumper at Aintree, a bumper that has worked out really well. Horace's Pearl, Tripoli Flyer, No Questions Asked, really good bump. Valgrand, a Grade 2 bumper, had then finished 2nd to Gentleman Bill, then won at Warwick, came into that race off the back of a win. And yet still went off 11-4 against Belliano. They really rated Belliano, and I think everyone rated Belliano at that point. So to see him getting in the novice event is a real surprise, in the fact that he's running in the novice handicap hurdle rather than just either a graded race or an open handicap hurdle. I thought, being able to run in the novice is great, and this is a very clever bit of placement, I feel, from Paul Nicholls. We know he can do the trip. The danger, or the so-called danger based on the betting, is Meet Me by the Sea. That horse is stepping up in trip. We're not guaranteed that that's going to be the right thing for Meet Me by the Sea. So I'm very happy with Belliano. We put that up at 5s. Now, as you can see, nearly favourite. 7-2 4s in places. They're pretty much joint favourite, most bookmakers. Don't think any of them quite gone Belliano favourite over the 2. They haven't yet. But joint favourites or second favourite for Belliano. At the time of recording the initial video, the Kemble Brewery was actually shorter as well. We then move on to the 225, which is the Imperial Cup, and we are sticking with Godante. What I mean by sticking with is I've talked about this horse for this race for a few weeks now. Won it last year. Won it last year off a mark of 129, I think. I'm just going to double check that on my other screen. Indeed it was, 129. Runs here off 127. The ground is the only difference this year. It was soft, it's now good to soft. I actually don't feel that the good to soft ground is an issue. I think he's perfectly capable on good to soft. His 5th at the beginning of the season behind Lump Sum, that was a very good effort. Lump Sum is now rated 147, is up, what's that, 13. I think I did this on my previous video and couldn't work it out then. So that horse is up 13. Godante is down 7. Yeah, down 7. £20 swing with Lump Sum for just a few lengths. Godante, I feel, is the one to beat. Yeah, and I wasn't too disappointed with his effort in the William Hill Hurdle when it looked like he was being given a ride of, let's just be careful with him, not get involved too much, and try and target the Imperial Cup again. Sean Bowen takes back over from James Bowen. I think he's set it up perfectly for him. That horse is now, as you can see, top price of 15-2. Most are going 7s or shorter. He was available at 8s. In the early analysis video. Moving on to the 335, the next one, Ho Jolie Smoke. Really like this horse. It's all about bleeding. If he doesn't bleed, he wins. I think he'll travel really nicely. It's all about that last half a mile for him. I think he'll come into it looking like he's going to win it. It's whether he unfortunately bleeds again. I think he's now bled twice, including last time out. Last time out, he went off the 5-2 favourite in a race with Henry's Friend, Hymac, Brave Kingdom, Hold That Taut, Inch House, Surrey Quest. I think all of those are better than what he's taking on here. He went off 5-2 that day. I said I felt he would be significantly shorter than what he was. If we actually have a look, we can see that he's currently available at top price of threes. You can get 11-4 just about, mainly 5-2. He was sevens when we put him up at the week earlier on in the week. Another reason why he should be signed up to a Premium Pro subscription and listening to our videos. 7-1 for Hojo Smoke. That was a great price. I still think he's the one to beat. And yeah, if he doesn't bleed, he'll win the race. I'm pretty confident of that. And then we move on to the two races that we talked about. Said who I liked. Delighted that they've both been declared. All three of them been declared. Sorry. And I will be back in them all. The first one is Don't Tell Sue, who Paul Nicholls has actually come out and said he's really confident that this is a chaser, and yet some of his hurdles form was pretty good, including finishing second to Place de Flo at Ayr. That horse has done really well since he was rated 101 that day. Place de Flo. He got beat today, but he got beat off a mile of 124. Significantly higher. That Place de Flo went on to win his next two races as well, and then finished third the next twice. So, you know, he's up £23 since beating Don't Tell Sue. Don't Tell Sue is up 2. They then went to Sandown for a handicap hurdle. This is Don't Tell Sue. They finished second behind Active Authority. The third place Samuel Spade has since come out and won. Was rated 126 that day, is now rated 133. The fourth place horse, Henri II, was rated 127, has since come out and won and finished second. He's now rated 134. So you would think Don't Tell Sue is going to be, you know, up 5, 6, 7 pounds as well. He's not. He's up 2. Now goes chasing. I think that's really key. He looked like a chaser. Paul suggested he really looks like a chaser. And yeah, I think he's going to take all of the beating here. Back at Sandown, where that's probably his best bit of form. He only went off 7-2 for that race. This is probably a similar quality. He should be better because over fences, and that race worked out really well. I wouldn't be expecting much bigger. You know, I thought he was going to be priced up at 3s. He's not. They've opened at 9-2. That's too big. I think he's the one to beat here over fences. Harry Cobden's definitely going to be wanting to beat Harry Skelton here with that Paddy Power jockey's title on the line. So yeah, I'm really happy with the price that they've opened Don't Tell Sue at. And finally, the 445. The two I like here are Triple Trade and Issa Dairy. Now, I was thinking that they were both going to be relatively short, you know, like favourite and second favourite sort of thing. They're not. They're bigger prices than I thought. 7's about Triple Trade and 13-2 about Issa Dairy. Prices that you can back them both. So why do we like each one of those? So Issa Dairy is probably the least fancied of the two for me. If I was to just pick one, I would actually go for Triple Trade. Issa Dairy has a lot of potential. Is only a 7-year-old. 4 runs ago was chasing home Martator at Ascot. Obviously Martator has really franked that form. Master Chewy was 4th. And then 2 runs ago was running at Cheltenham, was splitting Liberty Hunter and Master Chewy. Triple Trade back and 4th. Good race. Liberty Hunter is probably going to end up in the Grand Daniel, might end up in the Champion Chase. Master Chewy, I think, is going to run in the Grand Daniel as well. But the you know, both very smart horses. Issa Dairy was able to split those. There's no Liberty Hunter or Master Chewy in this race. It's all about whether Issa Dairy gets the trip. Issa Dairy did step up in trip at Kempton, and was beaten and disappointed, to be honest, finishing 5th. But I do wonder whether they might revert the tactics. They tried holding him up that day to almost help him get the trip. It didn't really work in terms of he wasn't able to get involved, and I just wonder whether they might go, Freddie, just go forward this time. We're at Sandown. Let's get him jumping from the front, get him into a good rhythm, and we might take some pegging back. And I think they will if they can do it that way round. So at 13-2, I think he is a bet, Issa Dairy. The second horse that I've mentioned, Triple Trade, who's now just gone back out to 15-2. You can comfortably get 7, so that's the price we're going to be saying. 7-1 about Triple Trade. This is the right trip, and that's the key for Triple Trade. Whilst it isn't the right trip for Issa Dairy, it is the right trip for Triple Trade. Look at his last few runs over this sort of trip. 2 mile 2, 2 mile 4, 2 mile 3, 2 mile 4. I look at all 4 of those recently. The last time he ran over 2 mile 2, the last time he ran over 2 mile 4, he was winning a handicap at Wincanton. The last time he ran over 2 mile 2, he was winning a handicap at Kempton. Then he ran over 2 mile 3 at Ascot. He won a handicap, the Howden handicap, of a mark of 135. And then last time out, he went to 2 mile 4 and he ran a really good race off 124, finished 2nd, beaten by El Rio. Now, El Rio had the potential to be very well handicapped that day. El Rio had previously come from some really nice races, including a decent handicap behind Leader in the Park and Asta La Pasta. That looked like a good race that day. He franked that form winning at Kempton, and then he ran okay last time out at Huntington off a £7 higher mark. Triple Trade did not go up in the handicap for that run. He sticks on 124. This is the right trip. Brendan Powell just needs to keep him interested, and I think he'll run a really nice race. I guess the only concern you could have is he's rated 124. See, I think they could do both. He's rated 124. He was 5th last year in the Red Rum off 137. He wouldn't actually get in the Red Rum at the moment off 124. He's going to need to win if they want to go back for that Red Rum where he was 5th. And if they do win this handicap tomorrow off 124 and he goes up to say 130, he would still be £7 lower than when he was a good 5th in the Red Rum handicap chase at Aintree last year. So they're going to be wanting to win it. So I think both of those have big chances. That's Issa Dairy at 13-2 and Triple Trade at 7s. So a really quick recap, just looking at the betting. Belliano, we're on at 5s, still like his chance. Great to see he's been declared, only been beaten by the New Line. Go Dante back for the Imperial Cup, £2 lower than when winning it last year. Ho Jolie Smoke, we've got a great price obviously at 7s. It's all about whether he bleeds. If he doesn't bleed, he'll win the race in my opinion. Don't Tell Sue should really appreciate the step up to fences or now going over fences. And actually his form at Sandown is probably the best bit of recent form from any of the horses in this race. And finally, as I've just mentioned, Issa Dairy, the trip isn't perfect, but he is well handicapped. And Triple Trade, the trip is perfect. And I think he will run a really nice race and probably does need to win if he wants to go to Aintree. As I said, this is being released now at just gone 5 for Premium and Pro members. It'll be released tomorrow morning for free members, so that'll be released Saturday morning for free members.